And there's a few guitar exercises that I really swear by. And one of them for the right hand is this one. I do it all the time. This double arpeggio. It's got a bunch of classic movements that we need for so many things. But the best exercises are ones that probably involve both hands. And the best exercise that you can do, and the one that I make all of my students do, but they don't do it like I want them to, is what I call the 4-finger exercise. It involves both hands, and it doesn't matter what style of guitar you're playing. I'm all into nylon string, fingerstyle, Spanish guitar stuff. But if you're playing with a pick on any type of guitar, this is a crucial exercise and gets us synchronizing both the right and left hand. And this is the exercise. This is all that we're doing. It seems so simple, but it's not. We'll talk more about how to do this the right way. Now, I recently hosted the great flamenco guitarist from Spain, José Antonio Rodríguez, at my space here. And we did a flamenco workshop, and I was very eager to see what is he going to teach us in this workshop. And sure enough, he spent almost half the entire workshop doing this exact exercise that I've been telling my students to do for years and years. And a lot of my students, you know, I make them do this. Well, virtually one of the first things that we do when we pick up the guitar. And there's a lot to talk about just in that little exercise. But you know, week after week, my students come back in and I say, have you been doing that exercise? And be honest, and they're not doing it. They're doing a bunch of other things. And I can tell that their technique would be a lot further along if they would just do this exercise. And it's almost so easy of an exercise in the sense that, I mean, you saw what it is. We're just using these 4 fingers and just staying on the same fret. We can do a million variations on it too, which is also great. But it's almost such an easy concept that we're very likely to not do it because we think, oh, that I did that already and now I can move on to the next thing. But this should absolutely be a daily maintenance thing for you. We can work on getting it faster over time. And it really is this baseline exercise where if you can't do this well or clearly or loudly or fast, it's impossible for you to do a bunch of other things that we want to be able to play. If you play nylon string guitar, the 3 most essential techniques are picado, rasgueo, and arpeggio. Check out my free workshop below where we do a deep dive on these 3 techniques and I give you a great drill that combines them all together and gets you playing this correctly in very little time. So in the right hand, I'm using picado technique, but we can use anything that we want, and that's also a great use for this. We can work on so many things on the right hand. For example, let's just pick something crazy like your middle and your ring finger. I'll do free strokes with the middle and the ring. Feels horrible in the right hand, but we can keep on working on the synchronization of the right and left hand together and working on the left hand while we're working on, you know, a ton of things here on the right hand. I like to do the thumb a lot. Thumb brush strokes, we can do thumb free strokes, we can do a million combinations. But in the left hand, now I'm starting down here in the 1st position. It might feel better to be maybe up in the middle of the neck, like in the 5th position, because the frets are a little bit closer together. But this is a good spot because we play down here so often. Kind of this weird conundrum with the guitar. When you first start out, we tend to dwell quite a bit in a position on the guitar that is kind of the hardest position because the frets are so far apart. That's the case for maybe using a capo. But I'm here on the 1st fret. And I'm trying not to touch the guitar here with my palm. We want to have, this is another thing I'm always trying to get my students to do, have a little space there. Somebody should be able to come around and put a little pencil through this little gap right here when you want to look like this. Have a little bit of a space there. And we're going to be on our fingertip. We don't have to be totally anal about that. We don't have to be absolutely on our fingertip, but we don't want to play like this. Have your fingers curved. And we're going to play nice and legato. And José Antonio was having everybody do exactly that. Nice and legato, because staccato is easier, and playing it staccato on accident might be proof that you're not really doing the exercise exactly correctly, because if you take your finger off, you're giving yourself a bunch of time to get to the next one. It's tougher to leave the finger down, let it ring a little bit longer, and then get to the next one. Then you can relax and release that finger. So I'm here on my fingertips, getting right behind the fret every time. We don't want any silence between the notes here. Going to the next string. Crossing strings is always trouble. Nice and clear. These 2 fingers want to stick together more. It's harder to separate them. So that's a challenge of its own. We're trying to get, again, close to the fret. Now come back. Now over time, don't do it yet, but we want to get it fast if we can. easier said than done. And we can always vary the rhythm, like going. You can think of a million different rhythmic variations we could do that will also help our technique. So this is a short video just to tell you that this exercise is something that you should be doing all the time, and I should probably make a weekly video on this just to remind you, because you're going to forget and you're going to play something else that you think is more complicated, and maybe it is, and think, well, I don't need to do that anymore. It's too simple of an idea. I'm going to do something more complicated. I do this all the time, and so do a lot of really, really great guitarists. If you need more help with the left hand, check out this video where I show you the 3 best, I think, left hand technique exercises from pumping nylon.